You're about to commence the last leg of the World Solar Challenge. How's the car today?
Well, we're going to go out with a full pack. Fortunately, we've had good sun this morning, and if it starts off today like it finished off last night, this car's really going to just hum along nicely today. Our whole aim is just to get the car up and running normally this morning, not using too much power, and just see how it settles in. The team is ecstatic and excited and even somewhat relaxed this morning. This is the last leg of a very long race and everybody is calm and relaxed, so we've just got to hold that calmness until we get through to the finish line today. At the moment we're 10th outright on the road, but that time adjusted should come back to 7th, and we may even come up to 6th time adjustment. In our class we're currently sitting in 3rd position, and that's fairly secure at the moment. This car is very competitive around the 100 km/h mark, so just sitting on 100 kph in the latter stages when we know we've got the run through to the line over the last couple of hours. And yes, we can't race any faster than that because we don't want to put the car at risk of either blowing something up or having an accident. We've just got to make sure we're conservative in our approach and just let the car do what it does well.
And has had many a paint job, many an array job, and comes in now with the team just welcome us through. So give him a good welcome. Perhaps we could say it's a little bit like an old Volkswagen, but perhaps high-tech. Yes. Good job. We made it, we got here. This is a group of people too which is rather unique in solar car racing, because they're not scientists, they're not leading edge high-tech kids and so forth. There's a lot of farmers and school teachers and just you and I type people amongst them. They've done damn well.
Yeah!
So it's a great joy on behalf of the City of Adelaide and behalf of my council to be able to welcome you here this evening to celebrate 20 years of the World Solar Challenge. And we do hope that we'll see all of you again in 2 years' time.
What were the highlights of your experience?
The highlights of the experience would have to be probably the run into Adelaide through the normal town traffic, overtaking lanes, multiple vehicles, and almost pretty much running the car and driving on your own. We still had radio comms, but with the way the vehicles were running and everything else, it was step closer to being what you'd normally expect.
Getting here. Getting here safely, getting here as planned. We're planned for this afternoon, Friday. It's actually achieving the full 3,000 kilometres and getting here safely and getting here in a really competitive time. I mean, we were really motoring at the end, so that was the highlight for me.
How did you find the competition?
Competition was very good. The two teams above us were very, very quick. Teams behind us, I mean, don't know too much because we didn't have too much contact with them, but the ones we talked to, I mean, there's an event where you get to talk with everyone, and probably the next day or two there'll be a lot more talking, having a look at cars, swapping stories, so really, really good.
I believe you had some predictions at the beginning of the race. Can you tell us a bit about that?
The predictions that I had at the beginning of the race that we'd actually get in here about 10 o'clock this morning, but that didn't take into account our 5-hour stop. So overall I think we are about an hour ahead of my prediction. I also predicted that we'd finish third in class, which we have. Top 10 finish. I'm just waiting on some data at the moment to establish where we are on adjusted time, but I'm hoping that we may have overtaken Bockham and actually been 6 outright on time, adjusted time. So if that's the case, it's absolutely fantastic for such a small budget team, and we've just all come together, worked really hard, and this is a very surreal moment for us.
What problems have you encountered that you perhaps didn't expect?
The plug falling out's pretty basic. I mean, that's simple stuff, and that was when it fell out and shattered on the road. I'm thinking, what's going on here? It's just so simple, you know. It's like the 20-cent part that falls out of a car. But we got that going. That was really good. Some of the traffic was a bit unexpected, especially this last bit coming into Adelaide. That was pretty hairy at times, and we had to really watch ourselves. I was surprised at the amount of interest in people, especially pulling beside us, taking photos and all the rest of it, which in some cases was dangerous, but people were pretty interested in our car. That surprised me a lot.
How did you find the competition?
The competition, we were 24 on the grid, and we knew we were a fast car, and I think by the time we got to Outer Darwin we'd passed about 12 of them, so we knew we were pretty good. I didn't think we were that good. I knew we weren't as fast as the fastest two, and then when we were in our third position we consolidated that. I was surprised how quickly we got there. It was probably just our experience. I think there were a lot of cars pulled over with problems. There were some minor bingles. People weren't used to the Darwin traffic, the Australian driving, and perhaps our experience that told in the beginning, and we just kept out of trouble. But we've held that third position and really happy.
What would you do to improve performance in future?
Improving performance? Yeah, good question. I mean, we averaged around 80k an hour, which was our plan. Towards the end we were getting 90. So our speed's okay. It's just consistently getting that speed, so it's probably an improvement in the battery technology, perhaps an improvement in the wheels, but we've got to decide, do we build a new car to the new standards, a more practical form of transport, and ultimately that's what we want. We want people using these cars, and I think that's what we've got to decide, to build something that people can use commuting, and I suppose that's our challenge. We can achieve the speed, that's not a problem. It's getting it to a cost-effective price for people to use and consider.
Please get behind the World Solar Challenge. It's one of the best ways in which we can harness the energy of our young people to participate in brain sport, to really get them on board to understand the technical solutions to the world's energy problems of the future.
I believe that the future lies between the ears of all our young people, and I think physical sport is very important, but why do we have to pay basically millions and millions to physical sport and peanuts to brain sport, when after all peanuts is for monkeys and money is needed in research? So I really think we need to spend more money on research.